doody, and welcome to our new special broadcast of In Case, where we invite you to show one very special and exciting guest for a weekly session. I'm Colin, that's all as usual, and today, sitting right next to me is... Actually, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Simpson. The fact is that my intriguing name was created by my friend Tack. And anyway, thank you for having me here to chat to you.
Fantastic, isn't it? But enough talking. Let's just get straight into today's episode, shall we?
Right, so quick question. What do you guys know about money?
Well, not much. Some humble bucks in the pocket, few pennies in the bank. That's about, I'd say.
How about you, Salt?
Polymer or card paper. I don't know. That's their material. I only know that.
Right, so nowadays when we think of money, pretty much everywhere around the world, we think of paper money, the good stuff that's printed by the state treasury and distributed by their government. The system that we've taken for granted is actually pretty new, because believe it or not, the currency system itself has gone through quite some changes throughout the years. So at the start, we have the gold standard, which is a monetary system in which the standard economic unit of account is based on a fixed quantity of gold. So basically exchanging everything for gold. Yeah. Then we move on to the fiat currency, a government issued currency, aka hard paper cash. And that's also where we are at right now, the currency that actually has value. But these recent years, a novel kind of currency has joined in the fun and undoubtedly taken the people by storm. Can you guys guess what it is?
Dogecoin?
Well, close. But it's cryptocurrency. But for today, we're doing Bitcoin, the one famous currency that we've all heard about.
I don't know if it's legit or not, but as of May 30, 2021, a Bitcoin was worth 34,843 US dollars, fluctuating on a minute-to-minute basis. It's the world's first digital, entirely decentralized currency, and up until now, the system hasn't crashed because its practice, in theory, is super sound and legit. So yeah.
Well, its origin story is no less captivating, shrouded in mystery, and remains unknown even till this day. Right, Salt, you're the man. Tell us more.
Oh, right. So it's 2008. A mysterious pseudonym popped up on the internet, Satoshi Nakamoto. We do not know if it's a man, a woman, a lady, or both, or even children, or an entire group. Just unknown. He or she or they or it published a document that outlined what Bitcoin was, said that it was a new thing that they or he or she or it were working on. On January 9th in 2009, this Nakamoto released the first version 0.1 of the Bitcoin software on SourceForge and launched the network by defining the genesis block of Bitcoin, block number 0, which had a reward of 50 Bitcoins. The document that Satoshi published in 2008 was really groundbreaking because it addressed a long-standing problem that was preventing cryptocurrency from being established, which was to prevent anybody from copying and pasting the code that makes up the digital currency itself so that they couldn't use it again and again and again and again and again.
Yeah, well, there's one easy way around that, and it's that if you have a ledger, but you have to have somebody you trust to keep track of the ledger. And so what Satoshi came up was just genius, really. What they did was make the Bitcoin ledger entirely public, so everybody will have the ability to work out the ledger.
Right, but before things get more complicated, we are just going to take a quick step back and explain what Bitcoin actually is. Bitcoin is, by all means, virtual money that you can now use online to buy and sell things. And there are a number of retailers that are accepting this. It's not just used on the deep web, that's totally a misconception. But you'll know why people think that later on. And now there are even go-between companies that allow you to, I guess they not transfer, but they convert your real dollars into Bitcoins and your Bitcoins into real dollars. So yeah, it goes both ways, I guess. To put it simply, a good way to think of Bitcoins is a digital stand-in for cash because it's anonymous.
Exactly, and that's the big key. So if you want to buy things anonymously, or if you are a libertarian, or just you don't trust bank, you can use Bitcoin to make purchases on the regular web or the deep web. But the thing is, since it's anonymous and that you can actually use it on the deep web, which is a place where not too many good things happen, it tends to get a bad rap even though not being a actual threat or something.
Another reason why one might use Bitcoin is that if he or she just want to save some money, because what you're doing is you're skipping middlemen, and so you're saving on a lot of transaction fees. Say you guys ever purchase something overseas?
Nah, not overseas, too exorbitant, can't afford it.
Well, right. So because Bitcoin has no central authority and there's no bank that you're dealing with, so you're not going to be charged for extra bank fees. And the transferring companies that do work with Bitcoin typically charge like $2, $3, something like that. Very low, almost 10 times as cheap as the usual level.
Yeah, right, cool. But apart from that, you can also just hang on to them and speculate. That's the second thing you can do. You can speculate and buy and sell just like a stock, I'd say.
And one more thing you can do is actually participate and mine this coin, which sounds complex, but it's really not. Basically, by mining coins, you're essentially creating coins. Every 10 minutes or so, the system releases what's called a block, as Sok mentioned. And a block is essentially a group of transactions across the Bitcoin network. There are 6.25 Bitcoins per block now, I say, and why I say specifically 6.25 we'll explain a little bit later. The block, as I said, is a group of transactions taken from the ledger. So basically, they are taking information on who has what coin and what coin got transferred to what person. First verifying this information and then encrypting it into these math problems for a computer and everybody to solve it. So every 10 minutes, everybody on the network get that same block, and whoever figures it out first get the newly created bitcoins, get that reward. Yeah, I think that's what they called it.
So it isn't up to a person, but usually a group of people team up to do this because it requires a lot of computing power to basically handle these transactions, just like American Express pays someone to handle their transaction, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing though, the Bitcoin mining algorithm is set with a target of finding new blocks once every 10 minutes. However, if more miners join the network and add more hashing power, the time to find blocks will decrease, and so does the value of the actual Bitcoin. This is remedied by resetting the mining difficulty, or how hard it is for a computer to solve the mining algorithm once every 2 weeks, or so to restore a 10-minute target.
Simultaneously, they've come up with a system called the halvening. After every 210,000 blocks mined, or roughly every 4 years, the block reward given to Bitcoin miners for processing transactions is cut in half. This cuts in half the rate at which new Bitcoin is released into circulation. In 2009, the reward for each block in the chain was 50 Bitcoins. After the first halving, it was 25, then 12.5, and now it became 6.25 Bitcoins per block as of May 11th, 2020. To put this in another context, imagine if the amount of gold mined out of the earth was cut in half every 4 years. If gold's value is based on its scarcity, then halving of gold output every 4 years would theoretically drive its price higher.
So basically they are halving them to keep the currency alive? Yes?
Yeah, that's the idea. The process is basically half the reward, then half the inflation, and then lower the available supply, and then we'll have higher demand, higher price. Then miners will still remain incentively, regardless of smaller rewards, as the value of Bitcoin is increased in the process.
Alright, that sounds fantastic. But I've read an article somewhere that right now you can still make money mining, but it wouldn't be long because it's diminishing thing. So before you know it, it's gonna cost too much in power and hardware to even make it worth your while. So I'm kind of curious, how's that going to work out? Because right now a computer built specifically onto my bitcoins costs like 6 grand on eBay.
Oh well, with the elegance in solving math problems to get rich, though, if you ask me, it's pretty awesome.
Right, so Bitcoin, if you're one of those people that want to get rich quick and get out, it's definitely for you. But otherwise, we suggest you stay away from it, just for the sake of it. Because it's pretty wild out there. 1 minute a Bitcoin is worth like thousands of dollars. Next minute you know it, you can barely afford a pizza with it. So stay safe, my friends.
All right, so that will wrap us up for for this week's episode. Hope you guys enjoy. Be sure to tune in for our next week's video. For now, peace out.